Good evening. Welcome to Jim Munley's World of Weather. You clicked onto Long Range Weather Forecast discussion for October 28th through November 9th. For the period November 28th to the 1st, the models are split, with the GFS being the most amplified, depicting a trough here, and a ridge across west central states, but still with a zone of flow. And we're going to rush now to the end of the period. This is the first, and you still see we have a trough here, very weak trough over the northeast, a ridge here centered over the southwest, and we also have our trough off the west coast of North America. The Canadian ensembles, on the other hand, are still forecasting a zone of flow at near to above normal heights across the nation. Temperatures are forecast to be above normal in the east ahead of a cold front. A southward surge of cooler Canadian air will follow. The colder air mass should spread across the Great Lakes and the northeast and eventually the eastern U.S. The west will experience periods of strong south-southeast winds at the coastal ranges, along with periods of warmer convection precipitation. Heavier rains will generally be concentrated across the U.S.-Canadian border, with high falls moving into Oregon late in the period with the arrival of polar jet with a modified marine polar air mass. Okay, now the period for October 31st through November 4th. Here's the GFS, still forecasting a fairly weak trough here. You can see a little bit of a dip, but generally a zone of flow with below normal heights over the northeast and off the west coast of North America. The GFS again remains the most amplified. As we go through time, especially here towards the end of the period, look at this deep trough here that the GFS has. Also pumps up this ridge in the middle of the nation, and we have below normal heights across the west and Alaska and the Gulf of Alaska. But again, the zone of flow is forecast by the GFS. So during this forecast period, I am forecasting. Now watch, we're going to have problems getting up the images. I am forecasting above normal temperatures for the Rockies and the Plains, and below normal temperatures along the East Coast and nearby areas. For precipitation, forecasting above normal precipitation for the Northwest and below normal precipitation for this region here. Now, for the period November 5th to the 9th. Here we are on the 5th. This is a GFS. Now, the models are forecasting a de-amplification of the pattern. We have our trough that lifts out to the east, gives way to more of a zone of flow above normal heights, and you can see as this trough here in the Gulf of Alaska starts to spread inland. And we're going to go to the 8th, and you can see there's very little change. And no, we don't have the ensembles. And here's the the European ensembles, and the Canadian ensembles remains unchanged. But look here, that the models do differ on the amplitude of the trough, where the GFS has a further to the east, and where the European ensembles has it across the southeast. So that's the difference, and the intensity. So during this forecast period, I am forecasting above normal temperatures for much of this area, near normal around this region. And for precipitation, I'm forecasting above normal precipitation for the Northwest, and the change in the precipitation anomalies this period is a reduction of below normal precipitation for the Southwest and the Central and Southern Plains. So that is a long-range weather forecast discussion for October 28th through November 9th. Thanks for coming to Jim Munley's World of Weather, and have a good day.